Well, hi everybody. This is going to be an Appendum video for my video I just did yesterday on how to uh, edit your INI file in your X Plne 11. Because I went through the trouble of doing the video, I discovered some things and I got thinking about things, and this is going to be a little add-on to it because there are some mistakes that I always had, that everybody else always has, because I told you people in the video that you can put your libraries anywhere. And I got thinking about it and I said, no, that's not true, because when you think about it, I'll open up my custom scenery folder. When you think about it, how the INI file works is your custom scenery it's like making a cake. You have your mesh on the bottom, which gives you your hills and your valleys. If you think about it this way, your hills and your valleys, it pushes. Without your mesh, your scenery will just be like a tabletop, flat as a board. So your mesh gives you hills and valleys, and your terrain does the same thing. Different people give it different names. So you put your mesh on the bottom, and then you put your scenery on top of it. So you can imagine scenery mesh. It's almost like a tablecloth. So you got your mesh on the bottom, put your scenery on top, and you won't see your mesh because your mesh will be underneath, pushing up on your scenery, giving it the hills and valleys. And then you put your airports on top of the scenery, because if you had it under the scenery, you wouldn't see the airports, you'd only see the scenery. And here's where the mistake is. Everybody has been saying forever, and I've heard this from many people, you can put your libraries anywhere. And I got thinking, I said, no, that's not true, because your libraries are what adds stuff to your airport. People standing there, parked airplanes, extra buildings, fuel pumps, lines on the runway. That's what your libraries do. So I got thinking, your libraries should be above your airports, not anywhere. You can't put them anywhere, because the only airports they'll affect are the ones that they're above. So if you got the library stuck in the middle of your INI file, all the airports below it, you will see all the effect of the libraries. But all the airports above it, you won't see those libraries because they're below the airports, if you get what I mean. So what I've done is I've rearranged my INI file since talking to you guys yesterday, and it works like a dream now. I'm getting stuff I never knew I had. So when you open up your INI file, you see I've got my exclusions at the top. Like I said yesterday, that's stuff I've done. Those are editing things I've done. So you won't get exclusions unless you put them in there yourself. But look, what I've put at the very top is all my libraries. My R2 library, my RA library, my RE, my Rescue X. These are all my libraries. My JD, my fruit stand, my enhanced lights, and the big ones, Mr. X and Open Scenery X. And then right below the libraries, I put add-on objects that people have added: wrecked vehicles, waves, sea life, static aircraft, marshers, docks, and some people have made little items to put in your scenery, like here's a bridge, some bridges, here's taxi lines, forests. So what I'm suggesting to you is put all your libraries at the very top, every one of them. Then below that, put your airports. Like I said yesterday, put all your airports. And at the bottom of your airports, you go to the bottom of your airports. We'll get down here. This is going to be real quick here. But the bottom of your airports, the last airport you want is global airports, which are the default airports from X Plne 11. And as you all know, the basic airports that X Plne 11 gives you, they're very generic. They just look like a bunch of cardboard boxes sitting on the runway, right? They're pretty bad. So all your custom airports are the real nice ones you can get. So if, like I say, if you put any of these airports below global airports, you won't see the custom airport. You'll see the global airport that X Plne gives you. And then right under the global airports, like I said, I put my True Earth, which is like it's kind of like ortho, but it's Orb's version of ortho. So I want that above the other ortho. In fact, what I've done is all the ortho 4XP that I have that True Earth covers, which is Southern England. I've removed all the ortho 4XP from Southern England that ortho Orbs now covers. And then you put your VFR objects, and below that you get to your overlays, your ortho 4XP overlays, which is your roads and your traffic. You want that, and your city lights. You want that above your photo scenery, right? So you can see the lights and you can see the roads and stuff. So you put your ortho 4XP overlays above all your ortho, and like I said yesterday, you put your mesh, right, and mesh and terrain right at the bottom. So the only other thing that I never mentioned to you yesterday which is interesting, is one of the fellows was having a heck of a time because he wanted to remove a scenery, and I'll show you what he was talking about. Let's just take an airport here that's easy to see. It's an airport down here. Let's say right here, CNY3. He went like this because he said, I don't want that airport in my scenery. So he deleted this. I'll right click on the blue and I'll click delete. Now it's out of my scenery, right? It's not there anymore. But the problem was, I'll show you here. I'll close this. Save it, because I got rid of that airport. I got rid of the Collingwood airport. He said, yeah, but the problem is, when I start my game up, show you. Just take a second here. Fire up the game. That's the problem with having 3 terabytes of files. You've got to be patient for it to load. So, loading up. There, it's loaded up. He says every time I restart after I delete it from my ini file, he said, and I delete it from my start my game. Oh, let me see here. He said, it comes back. See, here it is now at the top. And it always, every time you have a scenery in your custom scenery, it'd always come back at the top. I added this morning. This was an add-on I got this morning. So what I want to do is, that's a VFR object for Germany. So I right-click on it, cut it, and I'll move that down to my VFR scenery. Oh, VFR, and I can stick this anywhere. Left-click behind it. Enter, space, right click, paste, move that down. There, that's something I did this morning. So he says, every time I delete this, it comes back. Well, you don't have to delete it from your ini file. All you got to do, now just remember this Collingwood is at the top, right? If you want to get something out of your ini file, if you don't want that scenery anymore, you don't take it out of the ini file. Save it. You take it out of your, what one, my memory's going here. This is CNY3. Okay. You don't take it out of your ini file, you take it out of your custom scenery. So we'll go over here and we'll find CNY3. CNY3, here it is. You got to take it out of your custom scenery. So watch. You just right click on it, and then you can click delete. or the quick way, because I'm not going to get rid of it. So I'll just hold down the left mouse button and I'll drag a copy of it over my desktop. And then I can, where the heck is it? And then I can right click on it and delete it out of my custom scenery. Now remember that the CNY3 was at the top of the list in the ini file. So then, because I've removed it from the custom scenery folder, when I start my game again, come on, fire up, baby. We're waiting for you. Okay, we've refired up the game. Now watch this. If I go back into my ini file, remember that CNY3 was right at the top of the ini file, right? Now it's gone. It's no longer there. So that's how you can remove stuff quickly from your ini file. If you don't want it in your ini file, you don't want that scenery, so just take it out of your custom scenery and it'll disappear from the ini file. And that's all you got to do. So maybe that's some more information that you guys might be helpful with. So all I got to do now is I got to close the ini file, move this back into my custom scenery. See, it's back in, and restart the game. I don't need this one anymore. I can delete this one. Come on. He's firing up. And I'll give you some advice about this ini file too. So now we can close the game again, go back into the custom scenery, go back into the ini file. And there it is, back at the top again. See, it's come back in because it's in my custom scenery folder. So I don't, like I say, I don't want it above my exclusions or my library. So I'll left click behind it, drag the mouse over by holding down the button, right click on the blue, cut it, scroll down, go below all my libraries, and I'll just stick it in. And see, you'll find the Canadian ones. Here's the Canadian ones here. Or left click behind that. Right click, paste. Okay, it's back where I want it in my ini file, see? Now I've got my ini file all set up. I got my exclusions at my top. All my libraries are next because they go on top of the airports. Then my airports, then custom, pardon me, I'm going to start again. My exclusions at the top, then all my libraries, then all my custom airports, then my global airports, then my True Earth, then my Ortho4XP overlay, then my Ortho4XP tiles, then my mesh. And that's how you do it. And another little advice that I'll give you people that I always do. Now right now I have my ini file just the way I want it, right? Save the changes. Just the way I want it. Perfect. But there will be times, depending on what you do and what you add and stuff, and if you do a repair, or you, like for instance, if I run, if you lose a bunch of files, because I have a Steam version, see, I can click on Steam, and I go into my library, and I go Games, and I right click on X Plne 11, and I left click on Properties. I left click on local files, there's this thing, verify integrity of game files, and it'll always find corrupt files, but what it does is it messes up your ini file, because it puts everything in your ini file in alphabetical order, and God, you don't want that. It makes a mess of it. So every time I got my ini file just the way I want it, I right click on it, make a copy of it, and put it somewhere else in your computer, like here. So if this ever messes up, you don't have to go to all the trouble of rearranging everything. You've got it up here all arranged the way you want it. All you got to do is bring it in, copy and replace, bingo, and you have it right back to the way you want it. Okay, so that's some of the stuff I left out, so I thought that would help you guys. And I always keep this on my desktop. The other thing, all these nice photos I've been making, you guys are welcome to make copies of them, because what I did is I made a little folder on my desktop called X Plne Pics, and all the nice pictures I made, I save them in here. And then every once in a while, when I want to change my desktop, I can right click on the picture and click set as desktop background. And that's what I have on my computer now. So I enjoy doing that. Every couple of days I'll change the picture. So I hope this video is informative and helps you guys a bit more. Have a great day, everybody.